Hello and welcome to News from the Streets, a podcast brought to you by SALVE International. SALVE stands for Support and Love via Education. We believe there should be no street called home, that no child should have to live or work on the streets to survive. We work in Uganda to support street-connected children and their families to have a brighter future. We believe every child has potential. We hope you enjoy this podcast and listening to some of the stories and solutions around homelessness. Please note that some of the content you may hear in this podcast could be distressing. Also, all of the young people and their family members who have chosen to take part in this podcast have consented to share these stories with you. However, they have also changed their names to help to ensure that they remain protected and anonymous.
Hello listeners, my name is Robert from SALVE International. Today I'm interviewing a child and our topic is turning to drugs on the streets. I would love him to introduce himself before we go ahead with the podcast.
My name is Solomon and I am 16 years old.
So Solomon, I have a few questions I would love you to answer. Is it okay?
Yes.
So Solomon, why did you come to the streets?
I came to the streets because I was beaten and I had to stop to steal my mom's money.
So, how long were you on the streets for?
I was on the streets for 9 months.
In these 9 months you were on the streets, how did you make money and find shelter and food on the streets?
I used to pick scraps, plastics, and salt to get money for shelter and food.
So, in this process of picking scrap, money and shelter, how was your relationship with other children on the streets?
It was good because we did everything together.
So, in doing everything together, what are the challenges of living on the streets?
Being beaten by the elder street children, being beaten by the police, even the rate of diseases is very high, shortage of food, those are the challenges.
Is this any different from a girl than a boy?
Yes, because a girl, it is more worse than a boy, in such a way that a girl may not just pick scraps, but may involve in other things like prostitutes.
Okay. Why did you start using drugs?
I started using drugs because of the peer groups at the streets and the coldness at night, as I thought that it may warm me.
What kind of drugs have you tried?
I've tried mafta only.
What effects do drugs have on you when you take them?
A lot of heat at cold times and a lot of coldness at hot
Times.
Even sometimes you may lose memory. At times when playing, you may get tired very fast than others. You get some sweating at night.
Are these effects good or bad?
They are bad.
They are bad. Do you want to keep taking drugs for the rest of your life?
No.
So how easy or difficult do you think stopping taking drugs is?
It is easy because we have got counseling from uncles and we are on medication. And it is difficult because we were addicted to drugs.
Okay. So what inspired you to leave the streets?
The counseling of uncles and the situation at the streets, which was bad, inspired me to leave the streets.
So what do you hope for your future now?
I hope to become a teacher.
A teacher. So what message do you have for other children who are considering using drugs?
To avoid drugs, because drugs may become a wastage of money as they don't develop the body or anyone else.
So Solomon, how can you create a no street called home where no child ever has to live on the street?
By encouraging street children to seek for counseling and guidance from centers, and encouraging uncles to extend services to homes so as to attract street children to go back home.
Okay. Thank you very much, Solomon, for this interview. I'll be looking forward for other interviews in future.
You're welcome.
Thank you for listening to our podcast, News from the Streets. We really hope that you enjoyed it. If this podcast has inspired you to want to learn more and to get involved in our global community of people who believe, as we do, that there should be no street called home for children living and working on the streets and that they deserve a brighter future, then please check out our website, www.salvinternational.org. We would love to hear from you and for you to get involved.